Hey pal, let's dive right into architecting a high-performance web application using Azure. I've got this awesome course from Microsoft called Architect Modern Applications on Azure. Think of it like the Google Cloud for developers like us who want to roll out cool stuff using Azure. First things first, before you start, you've gotta understand the landscape. Azure is a monster playground for your app, offering various services like Azure Functions, which is something like a magic box that executes code on demand, and Azure App Service, where it's like handcuffing your web app so that it can run all kinds of flavors of server-side technology. This duo in Azure makes handling web requests super cool because they do stuff like pre-warming your app, which is just Azure being one step ahead of the game now. If performance is the name of the game, Azure Redis Cache can be your secret weapon. But let's not ignore Kubernetes as a container orchestration. It's like a master chef ensuring every dish is served perfectly. And when it comes to big decisions, Azure Policy helps ensure your app is always dressed in the best formal attire of compliance and efficiency standards. That's policy enforcement at its peak. Imagine you want your app to connect securely. Azure Key Vault is your vault with the best lock in town. It's also the place to store your secrets, not just for your app but for your application's entire family, so your family values transparency and security. The journey doesn't end here, folks. For a modern web app, you'll want a seamless experience everywhere and anytime. Azure Traffic Manager and API connectors work hand in hand like two peas in a pod, distributing traffic and exposing your APIs to clients that speak different programming dialects. Plus, Azure Active Directory helps integrate this with identity services, making authentication feel like a walk in the park. And hey, who doesn't love a backup? Azure Backup and Azure Site Recovery is on standby, ready to save your data just like your favorite backups from the olden days. Monitoring is the key to the kingdom. Azure Monitor gives you an oracle's foresight, tracking everything your app does and reporting back to you in real time with Custo's analytics engine as the sword of truth. Now, the nuts and bolts part. Your architecture has to be a mix of scalability, cost efficiency, global infrastructure, and, of course, performance. Keeping this in mind, let's not throw a party every time your app gets a request, but rather smartly scale resources using Azure Autoscaling and keep a close eye on the utilization, cost, and latency metrics. It's time to build a sturdy foundation. I'm talking about a highly available, distributed, and resilient architecture that's easy to debug and tear down. This way, we not only build for today, but also prepare for the future when you want to scale or just chuck your app out like last season's fashion. When security is the priority, you want it tighter than a drum. Zero Trust architecture models help us fortify our app, allowing access based on behavior and strict least privilege principles, and a security-first development approach reduces risks and vulnerabilities. Just think of your application as wearing armor. And how about billing? Always be mindful of your cloud expenses, making smart decisions not to break the bank. Now, to wrap this up, creating an app using Azure isn't about putting one giant building on the field. Nope, you have to be strategic, architect an app with scalability and security in mind, understand the best practices, ensure you follow a deployment pattern that makes sense. Azure isn't just about throwing services together without direction, so make it robust, responsive, secure, and compliant. If you are feeling good about all this, feel free to head over to Neeraj's website, where we are always sharing the latest in cloud wizardry. Subscribe to TechLab, and let's keep the tech conversation flowing.